In this video, we're going to rationalize denominators using the conjugate. So simplify the following by rationalizing the denominator and reducing if necessary. So we're going to use the conjugate. So the conjugate of a binomial is always just the same binomial but with the opposite sign. So the conjugate for this problem is going to be 4 minus root 15. And the reason we use the conjugate is because that will cancel the denominator if we use the opposite sign, and you'll see that here in a second. So we're going to multiply the top fraction by 4 minus root 15 and the bottom of the fraction by 4 minus root 15. And remember, 4 minus root 15 over 4 minus root 15 is just 1. So we're not changing the fraction, we're just changing how it looks. I like to put parentheses here around these so that I remember if there's any binomials that I have to do distributing. So 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times root 15 would be minus 3 root 15 over 4 times 4, 16. 4 times negative root 15 will be minus 4 root 15. And then root 15 times the 4 is going to be 4 root 15. So I essentially took this 4, multiplied it times both terms, and then I'm taking the root 15 and I'm also doing that to both terms. So we need to finish out with root 15 times root 15. Well, as you've seen before, root 15 times root 15, that gives you a perfect square, so the square roots cancel and I end up with minus 15 here. Because I'd get 15 times 15, which is 225, and the root of 225 is 15. Now you see the whole reason for multiplying by the conjugate, the middle's canceled, right? So we end up with the square roots gone. So these two cancel, and I'm left with 12 minus 3 root 15 over 16 minus 15, which is 1. So I end up with 12 minus 3 root 15. And root 15 is broken down as far as it can be. There's no perfect squares that go into it. So that would be the rationalized denominator using the conjugate. Let's try a second problem out. So we've got 76 over 5 plus root 6. So our conjugate here would be 5 minus root 6. So we're going to multiply by 5 minus root 6 over 5 minus root 6. Remember, I put parentheses around binomials so I don't forget the distributive property. 76 times 5, 350, 380. Minus 76 times root 6, so minus 76 root 6. On the bottom, I get 5 times 5, which is 25. 5 times negative root 6 is minus 5 root 6. And then root 6 times 5 here would be positive 5 root 6. And then root 6 times negative root 6, the square roots are going to cancel, right? That would be root 36, which simplifies to just 6, so I have minus 6 here. The denominator cancels. The whole reason for multiplying by the conjugate is so you get rid of the radical on the bottom. So we end up with 380 minus 76 root 6 over 25 minus 6, which is 19. Now I probably want to double check to make sure that like 380 is not divisible by 19. It is. 76, is it divisible by 19? It is. So I'm actually going to factor out a 19 out of these two numbers here. So when I factor the 19 out, I would get 20 minus 4 root 6. When I factor the 19 out of the top, I still have a 19 in the bottom. 19 divided by 19, those two are going to cancel. I'm left with 20 minus 4 root 6. So just make sure that you simplify that last piece, or at least attempt to simplify the last piece. And both numbers have to be divisible by the denominator. So I have to be able to factor something out that can cancel with the denominator. Otherwise, I can't do any canceling.